record.
Now!
Yo, welcome
Woohoo!
back to
How's it going?
Operation.
So, we are going to now try the Alpha Brain packets.
Alpha
This
Brain.
is a packet that can be found in Sprouts. It's made by Onnit. It's supposed to help with memory and focus and daily cognitive support. Pineapple Punch is the flavor. Here we go.
Oh, we're going to fucking try this shit.
So, we will see how much memory and focus I have by the end of this episode.
This podcast is not an official sponsor.
We would
They
like
should
to be.
be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
on it.
this
You
should
hear
be.
This?
Joe Rogan.
Invite me to your podcast. I'd love to be on it. I have not much to really talk
No
about.
pun.
You should
on
have
it.
seen him last night.
You know, it's worth a fucking shot, baby.
He was commentating on that UFC fight last night. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
it was hilarious.
I love
He got
Joe
his
Rogan.
bald head rubbed at the end of one of the fights.
He's the best. No one's better than Joe Rogan. Anyway, this week, this episode is going to be about television, which you are watching right now, kind of, in your pocket. Or at your house, at your desk.
Well, it's about technology, this topic for the month, but we are going to be talking about TV today, for instance.
Television. A lot of you may have never seen the old little TVs that were heavy as
The
fuck.
tube TVs!
So we have one up here on the screen.
Wait,
And
the real question is, Ollie, did you have a tube TV with a handle, the little mini ones, in your room?
We had this. We had something like this right here. It's like silver
okay.
one with
So
some
they used to
buttons.
have,
Okay,
I
so
know
the
that
silver
Justin
one-
had one. There was a mini one, it was white, and I'm sure it had other colors, but mine was white, and it had a handle, and you could pick it up and bring it into a different room.
No,
so like
we
if
never
you're a
had
kid,
that.
yeah, okay. It was a mini handle. Did you have one of those?
I think, no, maybe we didn't.
All right,
We were poor,
well,
kid. We didn't have much. But we
I
did
was poor
have-
too, but this
we
was
had
like,
one like this. This guy right here with the dial. I remember that one.
Oh, snap.
Oh,
You
yep.
would change the channel with that. There was no remote, so like the big
no
thing,
remote? I'll have to get up
Yeah,
and
so
change
the
the
big thing
channel?
was like, all right, so family's watching TV. They're like, all right, who's gonna change the channel today?
Who's gonna get up?
Who's
And-
gonna get up this time to change this motherfucker?
And the parents are always
And it
like,
would be a
you,
fight.
child, get up,
Yeah.
change the channel.
Yeah, children, change this channel.
And it's
Um,
never to a channel you want to watch.
So that it started apparently in 1927. The first television was
You are
like,
completely blocking my
made.
face. Move
What?
back.
No, I'm not. Dude, no, it's all good.
Whoa, that is a really shoddy taste.
Sorry on it. It tastes decent.
What's the flavor?
Pineapples punch.
Pineapple punch.
Either way, all right. So the TV came out in the 1930s is really when it came out, and then pretty much by like 1940 we were allowed to have them, and only at first like the wealthy people could only afford it. So they were $200 to $600, and back then the average salary was like $1,300 for the
Jeez.
year.
For the year? Wow.
Well,
And so then a TV was $600?
Well, yeah, but
Things-
that's why it was for the rich people.
well, things also cost a nickel back then.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, everything was
Yeah.
different. You know, a salary was $1,300, which is now a weekly paycheck
Yeah.
for most, like some people. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm. Inflation, baby.
inflation's here, you know, and it's always been around, and obviously we've came to this point where
Yeah.
now TVs they actually have went down in price compared to what they used to be, because it used to be so sought after, and like it was like, oh, new technology. Now people put these fuckers in their bathrooms.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a TV in every household.
It's kind of crazy to
It's
me if you
insane.
think about this. Like, our iPhones are like mini TVs, right? And here we are talking about how, like, when something is, like, in high demand, like, it can be sold for a lot of money. But yet the iPhone price has not gone down since it's been made.
It
It's
goes up.
literally, yeah, it just keeps going up.
All right, perspective. That TV was $200 back in the day. This stupid
Mini TV.
thing right here, this bitch was like $1,800.
Well, you know exactly what's
Insane.
You know what exactly what has happened is not just an inflation of, you know, the product itself. Like, we all have, you know, thousands and thousands and thousands of these. We could go and get one that's like, you know, 3 generations behind, and it would do the same goddamn thing. But we've gotten to a point where technology is so intricate that the tiny details now cost as much as the entire device. So
Yeah.
this device, they'll add 3 new features to it next
Yep.
year, and then they'll
3
charge you
new
the
cameras,
same price.
baby. That's what they do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we went from 1 to 2
That's
more.
right.
Yeah, 200
It's
more
crazy.
dollars.
Yeah. But so it kind of all started. It didn't really start with the TV, because to have the TV, you needed the camera
Mm-hmm.
to get the images and to get the visual. So the camera came out in like the 1800s, I was reading, which is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So that sucker, and I have a few back here that are really old and cool. We have a Polaroid SX70 land camera. I don't know if it works, but I did order some film and I want to try it.
Ooh.
It may not work though, because it is old as shit. But that
About
bitch
to see some
folds
grainy, fuzzy
down.
photos.
Give me that thing. Give me that Polaroid. I'm gonna show you guys. This thing folds, dude. So it's really old, and people used to take pictures with this shit. There it is. Oh, look at that. Boom. Look how big this is. Now we have this. This thing. Phone.
Here, I'm gonna
Compare
hold
it.
this up.
Nah, it's right here. It's on this camera. No, you're on the wrong camera.
Yeah. I
This
think
one.
they know what the
Wherever the red
phone.
light is.
They know what the phone looks like.
All right, either way. So look, this fucking thing, this thing folds down, dude. This thing's pretty cool. I got this at an antique shop. This comes off. This is a light, like a flash. And then this sucker, like, all right, so I don't want to break it, but it folds down to nothing.
Oh, that's.
Oh, the land camera.
So this was like your portable camera.
Whoa, portable.
Right here. You got this sucker. You're the coolest
That's a
kid on the
giant
block.
iPhone.
And then, so the
Wait.
Polaroid is the camera.
Hello.
The Polaroid's the camera that spits the photo out, and it's like magic. So when this sucker came out, everybody lost their fucking minds. But
What?
I mean, it's kind of cool.
When is this from?
This is from. Look it up. Pull it up.
When's the name?
This is the SX70 Polaroid. I'm trying to open this thing. So if I just
There
like,
it
the
is.
first day I got this, I like didn't want to break it. And I was trying to open it, and I was like, how the fuck does this thing work?
Let's figure out what era this is from.
So,
Does it say?
that one right there?
1972.
All right, 1972.
Wow.
We're back,
Wow.
baby.
Lots of you probably have drugged out photos on these things.
Oh.
Woodstock era.
Dude, a lot of people own these.
So, want to hear something funny? So, I always remember like going through my mom's junk drawers when I was little, and she'd have all these like film strips. Like, what are those things called? Is that exactly what it's
Yeah,
just
it's
called?
film
Yeah,
strips.
film strips. And I would, you'd look it up. You could like in the light, you could kind of see what's on it, but like.
$349
And,
bucks,
yeah,
baby.
all
Let's
sorts of
go.
undeveloped film.
That one's in very good condition though.
It probably works.
It's got the wood,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also remember using those disposable cameras, and that was like pretty much like how you took photos back then. Like there wasn't really like any selfies
Yeah.
because you didn't have really cell phones. Like I remember going to nature's classroom when I was like in 6th grade. And I had one of those disposable cameras. I took all these photos, and I was so excited. I told my mom that like
And they come out
we
like
dissected a
fucking
bat,
dog shit.
and well, yeah, you don't know how it's gonna come out. I was like so excited to develop my pictures of my dissected bat. I was like, oh my god,
Yeah,
I
so
wonder what
there's
it's
the
gonna
little
look like.
film strip you were talking
Did you
about.
have like equipment like all this?
You would need no, that's like a meth lab.
I don't know.
You
I didn't have to process
well
film.
for old photos like you had to like go in the
Yeah,
the
that's
red
what it
room,
looked like right there.
Yeah.
and you
I'd
would
find
have
all
to,
sorts of this shit in my mom's junk
most people
drawers.
wouldn't develop their own photos. They would
No,
bring
you'd
them
bring it somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some
And have
little
that red
magician
room.
would fucking work his little magic.
That room that they always show in like
Yeah, the red
old
room.
crime films.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they like dip them in this weird water
Yeah,
solution.
because we didn't have CVS
hang 'em
kiosks,
up.
so like I don't remember. Like that's the one thing I can't remember. Do you remember like your parents bringing film somewhere? Like where would they bring it?
For sure. It was
Walmart?
CVS, Rite Aid, Walgreens, anywhere that had the photo thing.
Yeah. Walmart
Yeah.
does it.
And before, like, you would have that, like she said, the disposable camera. You literally take your pictures, you take the film out, and you throw the fucking thing in the garbage.
Yeah.
I mean,
And all your like grandparents
photos
get you
were
this
the thing back then. You printed them out because you didn't hold them on your phone. So like I kid you not, my mom had a fucking tub, like a huge tote full of
Yeah.
photos.
The free falling photos, no photo books, and bitches are just
Yeah,
fucking
just
in
free
there.
falling, just in there. There was no photo books, no
Yeah.
scrapbooks, just in there.
Yeah, that shit's wild though, because like now we have this. It's
And
all
now, if
digital.
you lose those photos, and God forbid you don't have your parents develop like those
No.
films that were developed or undeveloped, like you're not getting those back. You
And
know what I
now,
mean?
Like I bought a printer for the house, and it's a 4x6, so it actually prints out photos this size, like the size of this camera, just a normal photo. And now I started printing out photos because, like, God forbid this shit goes gone, you lose everything.
Yeah,
All your memories are in.
seriously.
here.
And then
This
we're
is a
all like,
memory
"When it's
machine.
backed up to the cloud." Okay, but what if somebody literally just hacked the power grid and there was no more cloud, there was no more iPhone? You know what I mean?
Didn't you hear about that emergency update that they sent out to like all the news stations for your iPhones?
No.
Here we go.
Essentially, like something about the old software has been, exposed to hackers, so
course.
they understand how to like operate and like get into all the back doors and all that shit now. So you have to update it in order to prevent hacking.
Update it so they can hack
yeah, I
your
was gonna
shit
say
even
update
more,
it so they can get
baby.
more access to you.
Every time they try to push for an update, it's like
I don't believe anything anymore.
So they
it's
can
like,
start to
really,
fuck
do you
with
really
you.
just want us to update this for hackers, or you want us to update this so you can implant something new on the phone?
I think the real choice is we're a little fish in a big pond. So, are you more willing to be susceptible to the smaller predators that are more likely to eat you? Or are you willing to be, susceptible to the larger predators that in the grand scheme of things likely don't give a fuck about you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good way of looking at it. True.
All right,
Well, so ask us the questions that you wanted to ask about the TV.
I want to pull out a couple more facts about this TV because it is interesting and it did just kind of like pop up out of nowhere.
The thing about the TV is I feel like it brought way more actors, way more TV shows, right? So all the
before they were doing this shit on stage and no one gave two fucks.
well, they were doing movies, weren't they? Before that and stuff.
No, you can't have TV without film. Like you need.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
true. That's
you
true.
have to have.
It was theater.
Yes.
Shakespeare
that's what I mean.
shit.
They would
Yeah.
go up on a stage.
But
they'd
you
do
know
their
what?
little play.
I kind of wish
Thou
we'd go back
hast
to
been
that.
unfaithful.
Oh, fuck
Because
that.
no, I seriously, I mean, we've created so many fucking narcissists. It's insane. So many narcissists. And then like these people, I sometimes wonder, okay, if you are becoming an actor, let's say you're someone like Harry Potter, not even that,
His
but
name's not Harry Potter.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, you're that character for that many movies.
Yeah.
I mean, do you go in psychotic after that? Like, do you not know how to be your own
Yes.
self? Like, there's no more you anymore.
Look what happened to the Joker. Motherfucker killed himself right
Yeah.
after he made the movie.
Did he?
He
Yes.
did, yes.
Wow.
Oh, Merc.
And
not-
the
okay,
people
not
said
the
that he
Joker
was
that you're thinking of.
Not the Joker you're thinking of.
Batman, The Dark Knight.
Oh,
The
wait.
Joker in that movie, Heath Ledger. He did the movie, and fuck it, Jack Nicholson warned him. He's like, dude, if you do this movie, you're gonna go nuts. He's like, fuck it, I'm doing it anyway. Did it? Murked. Dead.
Yeah.
Killed himself. Because he
People
had
said
to
that-
get into that role so much that he
On
went
set,
psychotic.
he
Yeah,
only
crazy.
you
Wow.
only saw him in that role, like literally on set, off set. Like whenever he was like practice, like he was only in that character.
But that was the best Batman they ever made, Dougie. That
It
the
was,
best Joker. He
but-
did a really good job, but he killed himself.
Like, look at how
Yeah.
much entertainment we're getting at. Thinking of somebody who went psychotic, you know what I mean, after being this actor.
The
So,
magic box.
Magic Box.
Fix it.
Magic Box.
We need code for Magic Box.
How are we gonna control the
Oh,
population?
no. Have you guys ever locked yourself out of a device? We did it here at the gym.
Yeah.
15 minutes long
We couldn't
acapella.
listen to music
Yeah.
because we fucking forgot the password.
Yeah,
That your
so
whole
because
life is
we
over.
locked ourselves out of the iPad, we could not take ourselves off the Bluetooth to put ourselves on a phone to play
we're
music.
just-
So 15 minutes was acapella in the gym.
Like when you lock yourself out of your device, you lock yourself out of like, what do you
Your-
say, 50, 80% of your world?
Your
At this
brain.
point, it's like
that's
massive.
like locking your
Yeah.
brain, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
if you need an answer from Google, she ain't gonna give it to you. Imagine.
Man, it's fucking.
Or like, God forbid, you have to make a call and your phone's locked.
It's
And
ridiculous.
You're actually in an emergency situation.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you can like do the like weird like hold it down and call 911 thing.
Yeah. Making
Siri,
a,
don't do that.
making a throwback to our conversation from earlier when we were talking about basically how these phones are like now there are three differences and we pay $1.5 grand for those three differences. Yeah, it's like if you take the same mindset that we apply to buying new phones of like these tiny little differences, and then you apply like an older mindset, like what would your parents think of this shit? They're like, God damn it, I buy this phone and it does two new things. And it's like I spent half my paycheck. They understand like the value. So it's like it's weird because you introduce like while they understand the value of this thing, they also understand the necessity of other survival skills that I feel like a lot of our newer generation is now lacking.
They don't have any survival skills.
Yes, they have no survival skills. It's kind of scary.
I don't know like what road we're on right now.
I wouldn't, and I know you're younger, but I would exclude you from this. There are some people that are extremely, extremely weak, and it's just sad. It's like, really, how do you not know how to operate? Like, can you put the phone down for 2 hours? Like, that's the first test.
That's
Are you
pretty
able to
rough.
put your phone down for 2 hours and not tap it? Or hold it or have it be attached to you somewhere?
It's difficult, dude.
It's an
addicting as
addiction.
fuck.
You know what I really
on it
realized
right
that we
now.
were
We're
weak
on it
was
right now.
when I went on Amazon and I found this thing. This was during the pandemic. It was called the No Phone. I was like, what the fuck is a No Phone? It's a device that is literally just a fucking plastic phone that looks like a phone for people who are addicted to the phone. They need to have it on them. So it's like a wean off, like a nicotine patch.
Look at it this
The No
way.
Phone.
People
It's a heavy addiction.
People
It
are now.
is.
It's not only is it an addiction. People are now conditioned from the time that they're children because parents nowadays that are being lazy and don't want to take care of their kids properly are just handing them iPads or phones. And don't get me wrong, I understand it's a difficult job, but the world has also progressed to a level where we don't have to fight off bears or fucking lions anymore.
Exactly.
We don't have to go hunt and gather. We don't have to gather food every single fucking day. Like, take some goddamn responsibility.
So let me
I
give
don't
you an
give a fuck.
example. So
Stop
like,
giving your kid iPads.
stop giving your kid iPads, and then fucking
that.
like 10 years later going, I don't know why my kid's a psycho.
No,
It's
we
like,
all become so lazy that I order groceries to my house. And
we
all
stopped
you
doing
motherfuckers
that
do it too. I know
as
you do.
much. I
If
do
they
definitely
offer it,
order
I will-
water
I
from
will do
Costco.
Yeah.
I'm saying, like, we've become so lazy that we can't even go to the store where everything's killed already. It's already butchered. It's ready. It's packaged. And we're so lazy we don't even want to go there.
Now, how does this tie into TV? That's the question.
It doesn't. It just
I think it
ties
does.
into laziness.
Well, I think it ties
Mass
into TV.
manipulation.
Yeah.
It is TV.
Yep.
Because TV actually manipulates me to get hungry every time I watch it.
It
That
does.
commercial comes on, like, go eat that McDonald's,
How many fucking
bitch.
commercials are really about food?
A lot. That's what they want you to do. They want you to be fat
Yeah.
and lazy.
Even the commercials
Yeah.
without that aren't about food, those motherfuckers are eating food in it.
Mhm.
That's true. It's all
Yeah.
about the food.
They're
It's the
always
Matrix.
eating,
It's
yes.
the Matrix. We're about to fall down an Andrew Tate hole. Right
Oh,
here.
Jesus Christ. He's been
Uh-oh.
banned from everything I see.
Yeah.
They banned him.
Wait, who's Andrew Tate?
You don't know who Andrew
No,
Tate is?
and why has he been banned?
About to.
It's the Matrix. The Matrix. They're trying to demasculate all men. Have you living in a sexless marriage. Oh my god. It's
Oh my
awesome.
god.
I don't even know who he is. I just keep seeing like these memes with this guy with no shirt on and sunglasses.
Well, I mean, he's like a 5-time or 4-time world kickboxing champion.
Okay, then I have heard of his name.
yeah.
Then yeah, Joe Rogan's probably talked about the fuck.
Man, he's
been on
very
the show?
interesting.
Joey,
Not-
Joey, has he been on your show?
I would love to see him on the Joe Rogan show.
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause
he
he's-
hasn't been on yet. Huh?
He's actually very intelligent. God
All
damn
right,
it.
no. Now that we're talking about Andrew Tate, we're pulling him up.
Let's pull up Andrew Tate.
Oh yeah.
Andrew Tate.
Jamie, you're not doing your fucking
Here.
job. I gotta do all the jobs here.
I have,
Jamie, you
Right.
got one job.
Joe Rogan, I need your guy, Jamie.
I have a-
Alejandro sucks.
I'm the bargain brand, Jamie. You get me.
All
we
right.
got the bargain brand. We got the Walmart.
You get me at the Meximart, okay?
Okay, even worse.
Alejandro.
Sorry. Yeah, Alejandro. Not
Alejandro.
even great value. Bad value.
They have wallpapers.
Andrew Tate
let's see
wallpaper.
Oh,
what
all
this
right, so
wallpaper
this is
like.
Tate, dog. Oh, he's jacked.
Andrew Tate. Oh
All
yeah.
right.
I told you he's 4-time
All
world
right, so
kickboxing
everybody's
champion.
mad at him for speaking about the Matrix.
You know what? I've done a deep dive on this guy.
Nah, pull him up. I need a big picture of him.
What do you want a video or just a big
Nah,
picture?
just a picture.
All right.
We'll probably get this taken down, even though no one watches this.
Yeah. Too many mentions of the name Andrew Tate.
If we sound cool, maybe people think we are
no,
cool.
it's like the boogeyman. The algorithm will detect
All right, so
it.
there he is,
You're right.
Andrew Tate. He looks like Vin Diesel, but more jacked. and
Wow.
shredded.
Okay.
What
so
color
people
is
don't
your
like him
Bugatti?
because he keeps talking about the Matrix and shit. But how do we tie this back into technology?
Well, he's basically taken over a lot of social media platforms. If
Really?
If you follow I don't know what it is, but
It doesn't matter.
apparently
he just pops up on your
yeah,
internet.
everyone
That's
everyone
how
is
good
being
he is.
followed. You know what he did? He did something kind of revolutionary as far as advertising goes. So he established a brand for himself, and basically it's what's it? Associate marketing. Is that
Okay.
it?
Yeah.
Where essentially people get paid if they put links in their bios, and then they just put out hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of clips of him, just 5-second clips on TikTok, put out as many as
He
you
pays
can.
people to share
Yeah.
his shit, so he gets paid more, which is smart.
Exactly.
It
And
is.
it's
Smart man, Mr. Tate.
blown up more than anyone ever.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like he's his own advertising agency. That's actually how he started. He
He's
did
like,
all
"Yo,
his own
I'll give
advertising.
you-
That's actually pretty fucking
Yeah,
smart.
I'll give
Yeah.
you $200 a week. Share your fucking 10 of my videos every day, 10 times.
Yeah, in like a year, he's become one of the most famous people on the planet. So
My man's a
Fucking
G,
work.
bro. Andrew Tate.
he's the top G,
R.I.P. to the internet because you're gone.
top G. Honestly,
He's been kicked off of what? Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all of them, or what?
For talking about the
everything.
Matrix, like
He's
what's
super-
the reason?
YouTube.
He's honestly super charismatic, but he puts out a lot of points that are definitely against the PC culture and the mainstream media. So, yeah,
Well, I
that's how
will
you
say
get it.
this.
He's angered the big dogs.
The one thing that I have
The
enjoyed
pussies.
about the
Yes.
TV.
Yes.
All right. The one thing I have enjoyed about the
We
TV
can say it.
is
not
that
famous.
all right, shut up.
We'll be on the air.
There's
So
one thing about the
we've
TV.
been watching a lot of historical stuff, and that has allowed us to really look back at like how things have been run in the past, and it reminded me of what you just said with how Andrew Tate has been looked at by all these big dogs, right? And how that he's been messing with what they're trying to accomplish. And it just, we've been watching a lot of like shows on Kingdoms and Vikings and stuff like that. And just how like what loops they would go through and what wars they would start just to keep, these certain type of policies in place that kings wanted, or, you know what I mean?
King Biden
silence
has
certain
spoken.
people, crazy.
Yeah. No,
raise the price of gas, motherfucker.
And this is an infinite loop that we always fall into as a society and as people. Everything has a duality to it, and so if you look into one end of the duality or into the other end of the duality, you can always find a reason to fight. That's why we've never had a peaceful, we've never accomplished world peace, because there's always a difference between the mindset of people. And so I feel like a lot of this technology, and why it's become so polarized is because we're essentially at a technological or an information war right now, or we are in an information war where one side of the spectrum here in America especially is politically charged. It's super Democrat, super blue. One side is super red, super Republican. But it's like these have the power to now influence that mindset and propagate it to a level where we have not seen before. On top of that, it's like the exposure and the level of manipulation that we've developed as a result of understanding like how powerful media is, how powerful fucking TV is, has just expanded our capacity for this corruption.
All right,
So
I'm
it's,
about
like,
to
really
blow both of
interesting.
y'all's minds. What I have noticed in talking to people, being in the service industry that we are in, where we do get to have really intimate conversations with people, we get to hear a lot of different opinions, a lot of these charged political views, a lot of these manipulations come out in conversations clients have with us, you know, and it puts us in a position where, we have to choose, do we share opinions? Do we let them share? Are we open-minded, right? And I try to be open-minded as much as I can. But one thing that I notice is that, and here's where I'm going to blow a lot of people's minds, a lot of these politically charged opinions and topics that people are so passionate and gung-ho about are really derived from people trying to hold on to any sort of group, like subgroup or idea or opinion that makes them feel better about something that they're traumatized inside about, rather than dealing with it. Because if you deal with it head on and you reflect and you do the work and the healing that is necessary, rather than looking for a TV show or a station that's going to agree with what you're hyped up about, then you're going to not be so passionate about it. You're going to be like, blah, whatever. Like, because sometimes people talk about things and I'm just like, this doesn't matter to me. Like, I don't fear the government. I fear God only. Mm-hmm. And I'm open about that. Like, no.
Down.
And I said this during the pandemic.
God,
I said this.
Andrew Tate,
right, exactly. But
Republicans.
Justin and I said this to many people. We will not shut our doors. We do not fear the government. We do not fear a virus. We fear God only. And I will say that again. God only is the only person I fear. So, I mean, when people talk about some of this stuff, I'm just like, this doesn't mean anything to me.
Well, what's super interesting? I think a lot of these people get caught into echo chambers that have been promoted by an algorithm of social media. On top of that, you have confirmation
Well, what do you think about what I
bias.
said with like how some of these people have these traumas that they haven't dealt with, so it gives them
I think a lot of it is conflation. I think everyone has trauma, and I think that the social media has gotten to a point where it's so elevated and the manipulation tactics are so advanced in that 8-second window in which they're allowed to, manipulate and influence your mind on TikTok with that fucking attention span calculator and all that bullshit has gotten so goddamn
Look at how fast
powerful.
he's talking. That's how TikTok has
Exactly.
worked.
I have to talk this fast, otherwise you lose attention and then you don't want to watch this shit. So I got to talk really, really fast.
All right, do it now. Give us a point.
But essentially,
Sponsored by Alpha Brain.
Alpha Brain gives me the power to talk really fast, like an auctioneer. But anyways,
took 4 scoops.
essentially what happens is I think that these people have these subversive ideals and ideas that are, basically introduced into their mindset and their thought process before they even realize it, all day, every day, because you're on this thing 12 hours a fucking day. And then what happens...
You're on it 12 hours a day.
Man.
Check your screen. Yo, put on that screen monitoring shit and it'll
All right, I
fuck
want to
you.
hear him get to the point, please.
There is no point to this.
There is.
There is. But what's scary is... damn it, Justin.
Yeah.
You made me lose
I
it.
am a master of distraction.
See, he just manipulated my mind.
So we were talking about like their traumas.
Yeah,
It's
Smarter
like,
than the phone.
conflation. So if you can draw a line between someone's trauma, whether that trauma be completely unrelated to the pathway and the narrative that you're attempting to sow into society, then it's really simple in order to get everyone riled up over some bullshit. But what I found time and time again is whenever I'm having a real life interaction, get that real life interaction,
real life.
exactly, with people, and
100.
you ask them when they're super firm on like a political standpoint. They're like, you know, I can't stand the injustice. Ask them like, hey, when's the last time you actually experienced this injustice? When in your life, in your real goddamn life, do you see this?
Right. Okay. So
you only see it on the magical fucking box.
Right. Okay.
Ooh,
So I heard
magic
you say
box,
this to somebody
magic
a
box.
while ago, and it really stuck with me. So I said it to someone yesterday. I go, you know, all these things that are happening, and I said this to some people during the pandemic because I heard Ollie say it, and it really resonated with me. Is this happening right in front of you? Is this happening in your world? Because the reality of it is all of our worlds, we live in different places, different states, different countries, are this small, right? We're not getting to look above the world and get the whole God view. So if this shit isn't happening in front of you, mind your fucking business, put your horse blinders on, and get to fucking work and stop being so fucking lazy. There it is, right? Because the reason why we're having all these employee problems and people aren't working and we're having economy problems is because population collapse is people are lazy as fuck and y'all want to just keep on that box, man.
And children are hard fucking work and no one wants to make them.
Pussies.
Oh my God. All right, now we're going to be
all
called
your
sexist.
fault. None of it is my fault.
Listen, we are really sensitive. We are really sensitive to a lot of things. And this is because, like I said, again, I'm going to go back to the trauma. We all have traumas that we haven't dealt with, and we all need to be able to learn how to laugh at ourselves again and learn that it's okay, right? That the world is not navigating around you. You must learn how to navigate around it. And I have said this to a lot of people.
But what do you mean?
But what do you mean? The world should navigate around me. The
Mm-hmm.
world should call me this. The world should see me as this. Like, listen, you should show the world why you should be called that. How about that? Right? The world doesn't get to just call you things.
Speaking about changing the world, like we were talking about in the very beginning of this episode about the TV.
Well, this all does pertain to the TV because the TV does put a lot of shit out, whether it's on news now. News is no longer news. It's a fucking zoo.
There's a saying, it's called you news,
No topic.
you lose,
You
baby.
news, you lose.
Listen, no topic is off limits. The TV goes over all topics.
I mean,
There's
it reminds me of even just the news where people are like, have you seen the news? Listen, I haven't watched the news in fucking forever. In fact, somebody asked me a couple days ago when I was training them if I voted, which to me is a really personal question. It's like one of those things you just don't fucking ask, right? But I give it to her. I have not voted ever. And I never will. Why? Because this shit is dumb to me. All right? They do whatever the fuck they want. They promise you things they promise you things they will never do. I mean, and I'm not gonna subject myself to this like, who did you vote for? It's like perfect. I voted for no one, so now you can't hate me about anything, right? Perfect.
Who did I mean, I think there are approximately 333 million people in the U.S. or around that.
And then
number.
they're like, it's you that didn't vote. It's like, shut the fuck up.
There are 330 million other votes. I literally put less than a tenth of a fucking percent into the
And
bucket.
are they really even counting them?
And then they get really mad at you. No.
And then they get really mad at you like, you're the one. You're the 1% that made it go this way.
Yeah. And unfortunately, it's like, you know, the news media, the media, standard media has proven itself to be extremely unreliable, undependable.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I'm sure that even if you and I
not
did
dependable. They are not dependable. The news media is fake news. Fake news. They are fake news. Fuck them.
everything.
Fuck
Okay.
CNN.
And this is another thing. I said this to her, the same person that I told I didn't vote, right? And I'm like, listen, everything is real and nothing is real. And when you realize that, you will navigate around the world so much easier. And like I was saying to her, I said, I only believe in God and I have faith in God and I trust God and I don't fear anybody else. And guess what? Although all these problems have been happening, somehow Justin and I have just been these little like ping pong balls, just like missing shit. And yeah, we still go through fires. Don't get me wrong. We definitely go through fires and stress. Ollie can attest to this. He's seen this. But somehow we're always just like boom, 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 skirt, skirt. Why? Because
He is the fire and the stress. Look at him.
Right, he is.
Look at that.
Look at that red hair.
Right there.
Look at that red
This
hair.
motherfucker, he gives me gray hair. Got it.
Yeah.
But my point
Fuckers.
is, when you put those blinders on, you stop fucking paying attention to the chaos, the votes, the politics, the TV. Like, life is so much better. I promise you.
You know what this thing has robbed us of?
What?
The super. It's literally a superpower at this point. The superpower of presence.
Yeah.
Presence and memory.
Memory.
Before, and I was actually listening to Mike Tyson's podcast the other day, and they were talking about, it was actually him and Joe Rogan. They were talking about how before the phone, which I remember, you may not really remember. You're a little bit younger than me. A lot younger than me.
Yeah, no, I don't remember.
So
that.
before the phone, we used to have no phone, and it hung on the wall, or you went to it and you would put a quarter in it.
Yep.
Little payphone.
Payphone.
And you had to remember the number you were calling. So I had a phone book in my brain. I knew, like,
Dude, my mom made me remember
all
all of our
sorts of
numbers. Like, well, my mom's number and my grandmother's number, like, by heart when I was like,
I don't have to reveal that information to the internet, but I could.
Yeah.
okay, okay.
860
No,
370.
okay, don't finish it off. We know.
That's what I'm saying. See,
All
I
right.
know it.
There
I
we go.
have this ability to remember things, dumb things, like phone numbers. So you'd have to remember that. You'd have to remember addresses. You'd have to remember directions.
Mhm.
I feel like if you put this down
no-
enough
north,
hours
south,
a
east,
day,
and west.
We've
Star.
now,
you will get memory back.
Well, we've now
Brain
we're
plasticity,
relying
guys.
on this, and we're not using this as much.
Yeah.
And this is just like, all right, instead of using my brain, I'm just gonna use this.
Okay,
Yeah.
is it just me or also
We're shutting ourselves down.
shush? I also feel like, has anybody ever experienced this? The more time you spend in this fake reality, this fake world, these online shops, because we're always looking at something, whether it's videos, it's shopping, it's this,
I
it's
love
that.
the internet.
And I do love the internet, but do you ever feel like you kind of like, you try to go back and remember like your childhood and it gets harder and harder to remember even just like small memories?
Yes.
Yes, man. That
Well,
shit is
now
insane. My
I'm-
pineal gland is calcifying.
Unfortunately, too, though, like, children now aren't going to have memories like we did. Like, I used to go outside and fucking play with my friends.
Sometimes I try to just close my eyes and remember just like running around and playing or making igloos or this or that. And it's like I try to like be, like you said, presence, like in the moment, you know, like just bring myself back to that moment where I can almost like breathe the air I was breathing when I was young, and I can't. And I feel like at one point in time I used to be able to do that. You just lay there and you just remember like a past time and you close your eyes and it brings you happiness. And that's kind of scary. It's like they don't even want us to have the ability to be able to close our eyes, meditate, remember a past time that brings us happiness and comfort. They want this to bring us happiness and comfort.
And this is also what they went over on the podcast, which I thought was really cool. And I think this
Matrix.
will
Look
be
it.
eventually a thing.
Brainwashing 101.
And they also
Schema,
said,
emotions,
Yeah.
brain
refers to
properties.
different person abilities person takes on during blah blah blah. I can't read that. That's like super grainy.
all right, but anyway, so much shit is stored in here, so much shit is on here that eventually we're going to get to the point where they said that if you were my son, Alejandro, before I die, son, I want you to take my phone. All my memories. And this is my will. Everything is on here.
That's-
I'm
all
laughing.
my money,
Wait.
all my memories, everything I've
Yeah.
ever owned is
That's
this.
really
Please
what it
take
is.
my phone.
I'm laughing because, like, literally, right? So, because
So they got
That's
a
it.
pass down of a fucking, like,
I
this
know
is, like,
it
the
is
greatest
funny,
thing
but
ever.
at the same time, people don't journal and shit anymore. We don't like write things down like we used to, and it's kind of sad because,
Yeah,
like, I
that's
was
why they
telling
sell
I was telling my sister, I'm like, man, our mom has such beautiful handwriting. I really want to collect like things that she's written to us. You know, that's something I'd like to collect, and I wish I did with my dad because I like seeing my dad's handwriting, but. At least when I went back on my dad's old Facebook, you know, after he passed, like looking back and seeing things he said made me laugh. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, I could see him saying that shit. Or he posted a photo and I'm like, yeah, that's a funny caption. And I can see him saying that. So it's like, cool, it does give me that. But like, I miss being able to actually physically touch the paper, the ink that they like wrote. You know what I mean? Like that shit. And that shit's real. And nobody does that anymore.
Yeah.
Nobody sends anybody cards anymore. Nobody writes people birthday cards anymore. Gosh, Justin's always telling me, forget the card. Who cares?
Fuck the cards.
And I'm like, no, that
I
shit's
sent him
important.
an Evite, baby.
I think men have always been like the culprit
Yeah.
of like, you know, I don't want to write a card.
But that's
like
we've
them
created this shit, bro.
like provide for them. Provide. You don't need to give them a goddamn card. Provide. Give them something that's worth of value.
Give
But,
them
like,
words.
It
people.
is, you know, what you're doing is providing something else, which is providing value. I just think it's more so a male thing. The letters specifically,
Yeah.
the birthday card.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Like I don't think I've ever once in my life seen like a male role model, you know, be like, oh, let's get this come on,
I know,
let's
but-
sign this card.
And here we
Like,
are
it's always
laughing
been
about
a
it, but think
female
about how that
pushing it.
small interaction could change your relationship with your son or daughter.
Oh yeah.
And how they see you, how they respect you, how they
should.
feel close to you, your bond with them. And that's what I've told Justin, like, you know, they need to see that type of stuff from you. Like when we have a child, you know, these things are important because like he just said, like That's insane. Here, take my phone. That's the new sentiment. I mean, we used to think about taking your mom's locket. You know what I mean? Like maybe a family heirloom. Like, and now this is the family heirloom.
Take my iPhone 13 and do great with it. I'll be dead tomorrow.
It's like, what?
Well, no, it's the argument of form over function, right? So now function is over form because it's all about progress. So society is moving so quickly forward. You know, the only way to progress properly or efficiently is to do away with a lot of sentimentality, which is, I think, what a lot of the mainstream media has been doing. Yeah. Unfortunately, I think it's gone way too far in a lot of realms. Like, you know, you can only... we had a conversation about this recently where you try and say so much that you end up saying absolutely nothing. Yeah. And essentially, I think that a lot of society is doing that same bullshit because, you know, you've gotten to a point where, you know, gender and understanding like your sex and sexualization of just our entire fucking civilization or our society right now has become so rampant that it's like there are no boundaries. Sex is like completely.
I'm confused, motherfuckers. Yeah. You've confused me.
It's just like
I thought I had things figured out.
It's a black cloud. Yeah. Honestly, it's just hanging over everyone for no goddamn reason. Like it's actually not that important. You know, sex it's like so many people predicate their value in society based on like, oh, can I get laid?
I mean, this is the thing.
It's like, not that important.
Dude, I don't walk around and say like, you will address me as a male. Like I don't care what you address me as.
Yeah.
Well, here's what I was telling somebody.
I don't need to make it known that I am male.
Pop that up. So here's what I was telling somebody. I
don't get that shit.
Right, really where this could go. This could go this far, right? So, you know, when we're sitting here going like these kids, right, at school, I want you to address me as they, their, and them. And although we can have a very open conversation right now,
and again, down for sure.
Yeah, well, this is a very open conversation, so really open your mind, and if you cannot, please leave the conversation, all right? So here's the thing. If you are going to insist that these pronouns are, like Alejandro said, that important, then what happens if somebody, like a white male says, now, I want to be referred as a black male, and that's what you're going to call me. Or I want to be referred, I am an Indian man. That's what I see myself as.
That's already here. It's called
transgenderism. That's insane. But you're a white male, so, you know, here's my thing. Like, how can you be black if you say you're black? Right? If you're white and I'm looking at you and you're white, right? Like, I mean, that's where that could go. You know, like somebody who is not like, oh, I have my dad's black and my mom's white. I'm saying like somebody who has like maybe 2% and says, I am black. Like, you're white. You're a white male, right? But that's where this is going to go. Now, everybody can say they're anything. And then that's going to turn into, I'm a fucking unicorn.
Yeah,
and this all started with
and like you said, does it matter? No. Does it matter?
At the end of the day, I remember when this first was becoming an issue, and I was in high school, and you know we were talking about like transgenderism and all this, and I was just thinking to myself, I was thinking, you know, what's the largest implication of this? Because while people are saying like, oh, this is a very small problem, you know, it's not. Oh, you know, if someone asks, you know, me to call them a he or she or you know a zer zoom blah blah blah, then you know whatever, I'll call them that. But you gotta like take into the larger scheme of things, like how much actual time does it take to influence an entire society? How much time does it take out of, you know, your standard you know, vernacular, vocabulary, how you communicate with people? How long does it take to now you know, basically engage in a simple standard conversation, because you have to introduce this whole new layer of courtesy where it's essentially like, oh, what's your pronoun, blah, blah, blah. Imagine you outsource that amongst 330 million people. 330 million fucking people are now asking each other back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. What the fuck are you? What the fuck are you? What the fuck am I? They're not asking each other, wasting all this goddamn time. Imagine you have 10 conversations throughout the day. You got to ask them what their pronoun is every single fucking conversation. That's 20 seconds every single day for the rest of your fucking life. How much does that add up to? That's years. That's tens, hundreds, thousands of years. You put that out over the entire society. Thousands of years and man hours has been wasted. Yeah. Wasted.
Yeah.
For what?
I
don't get it.
I, sir, am a female, male.
Shut
up.
Well, it's...
I am whatever you want me to be, boy.
Okay, and so here's my thing. Anybody who's listening, before you get upset, we are not stating that any one of us is not comfortable giving somebody the correct pronouns that they want to be addressed by. What we're saying is how far this can go. Right. Yeah. We're all very respectful of the LGBTQ community. Hey, but here's the thing.
You missed approximately 65 other genders.
Okay, but what our point being is...
What are the 72 genders?
Our point being is how far this can go, and that we're losing the importance of what, you know, needs to be worked on right now in the world. You know, there are so many different things that are happening, and this TV, right, is influencing us to only see a certain amount. And that's the problem. And that's what we're trying to get to with this whole topic, is that the TV is brainwashing us from seeing the other things that are important.
Yeah.
You know, like we're making sexuality, and here's a good point that Alejandra is talking about. We're making sexuality so large, we are forgetting the drug war. We are forgetting the fact that they literally are handing out clean needles to women who are pregnant. So what is really the evil? Right? You know what I mean? It's like people who are pregnant with brand new innocent lives in their stomachs are being given clean needles to go legally go do their heroin on the street. It's just like, this is insanity. Why are we not trying to help people get off of drugs? Why are we helping them by giving them clean needles?
That shit,
Right.
baby.
So while we're concerned about
It's all about the
0.03
Benjamins, baby.
point, like it's
All about
literally
the Benjamins, baby.
Yeah. It really is.
It is.
It really
That's all
is.
they fucking care about. That stupid little green bag.
But
You fucks.
Listen, while we're concerned,
Eat a bag.
while we're concerned about like 0.03% of the population, we just wasted too much time on this podcast talking about gender fluidity. While we're wasting our time talking about this shit, look at this statistic. With an estimated 24.9 million victims worldwide at any given time, human traffickers prey on adults.
All right,
and
and I'm going to
children
make
of all
a
ages.
huge mic drop point right now for anybody listening. Those 24.9 million victims, does it matter if they are he, she, they, them, unicorn, walrus, black, white, Indian, Asian? They are victims.
Yeah.
And this is important.
They got
And this
bigger
is a
problems
small
than you.
topic that we are talking about right now. On the grand scheme of things, we got homelessness, we got drug addiction, we got fentanyl problems, we got, you know, immigration problems, we got human trafficking problems. I mean, these are huge problems that are not being
Television
addressed.
to politics.
I mean, look
Very
at the
fast.
fucking war in Ukraine. We're on the edge of another Cold War, but, you know, we're worried about Andrew Tate and how many fucking, you know, genders there are and, you know, what is a TV.
Daughter
How
of
we
Putin
can-
killed
How
in
we
Moscow
can
blast.
censor Trump.
Wow. See, I haven't even looked into all this stuff, but that's crazy. And
Yeah.
here's the thing. That's not
live.
really. Yeah, that's live.
Do you want to watch that?
No.
That's crazy.
Brainwash. Brain. Wow.
Do you want to
All
watch
right,
this?
So we're going to go back to the podcast that we were talking about in the beginning. TV. Yes, we've been talking about TV. We've been talking about a bunch of bullshit as well that has to do with TV. But I have some questions to ask you people.
All right, answer the questions.
All right, so first question to Alejandro.
Okay.
What is your first memory of TV, just in general?
Oh, of TV?
Just your first memory of your first.
See, this is what I'm saying. I can't even remember my first memory of
Maybe
TV.
Avatar?
Wow.
The movie,
No, the show.
the show.
The
show.
Little bald airbender.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm old as fuck.
Or
Mine
Dragon
is
Ball Z.
probably okay.
It might have been Dragon Ball Z. I don't know.
Okay.
My
what's your
very
first
first
memory?
memory of
a
TV
TV?
is probably Veggie Tales because my mom and dad were Christians, so Veggie Tales.
Veggie Tales. I used to watch. I remember way back getting in trouble for watching Beavis and Butthead.
No, I do remember seeing Beavis and Butthead at my friend's house, and it scared the fuck out of me, and I never liked
I
it.
got in trouble for watching Beavis and
Yep.
Butthead a few times. So that's like, I guess, one of the first memories I can think of like watching TV,
Okay.
which
What
was
else?
a pretty long time ago.
Are there other questions?
Yeah, wait, there's more questions for sure. What was your favorite TV show? Maybe do
At
like
what
different age
age?
groups. Yeah, like we'll do like say like your favorite show when you were like 1 through 5, or
How would I
guess-
remember my favorite show when I was 1?
I don't fucking know.
Okay.
Maybe it was Barney.
Yeah, I
Maybe
don't-
it
Yeah,
wasn't.
Barney. That was it, Barney.
See?
I did
Oh,
have a
yeah.
baby bop. I had a
I guess
baby
I did
bop
watch Barney.
There were
dino.
shows like you don't probably
Barney.
remember that were like,
Oh wait, Lamb Chop.
here, watch
Lamb
this,
Chop.
you know,
The
like
Big
your mom
Comfy
just
Couch.
puts it up.
Anybody recognizing these TV shows? The Big Comfy Couch with
Yeah,
Molly.
if
That
you're
bitch
old
became a
as
porn
fuck,
star.
You know all these. If not, you're like Ollie. He's like, I never heard of any of this bullshit.
Basically.
The Big Comfy Couch. You never saw that girl that was
Dragon
dressed up
Ball
like
Z.
a clown
Yeah.
and her leg would go up the clock?
All right,
No.
so
Made total
Ollie's
sense.
favorite
She
show
became a
was
porn
Dragon
star.
Ball Z. This was like what, your teen years, probably like what, like 13.
Yeah, Dragon
like
Ball Z
that.
has just always
Yeah.
been really good. It was actually really influential.
I honestly
for some-
didn't really watch TV a ton like when I got older. And like I told you this, like when I lived
Yeah,
with my
right. We
adopted
just
family,
talked about this.
I didn't watch a ton of TV.
You are older and you watch a lot of TV.
Now I do, but I'm saying like that midway, right? Like when
Yeah.
I was like 11 to
Yeah,
like
when you were getting in trouble,
18,
going
like
out
I
and
really
doing
didn't.
shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Same. I mean, I watched TV and I lived in, we had winter where
Yeah.
I'm from. And we would watch TV, play video games, but we'd go outside a lot.
Yeah.
A shit ton.
I
You'd
think
have to drag us in the house.
Yeah.
half the time.
Sledding.
And then it'd be like, all right, fuck, what are we gonna do in here? All right, we're gonna play a video game or we're gonna watch a fucking
Well, it's
movie?
like if you didn't have more than one or two TVs in your house and your parents were on it, you're like, fuck it, they're still watching Sex and the City, I'm out.
That's exactly what it was.
Yep.
Seasons. They're necessary.
My favorite TV show, I think, when I was growing up was
Sailor Moon.
That was yours?
Yeah, I loved Sailor Moon when I was coming home. Justice.
I don't know. I think when I was younger, I really liked Rocket Power.
Rocket Power
was
was
fun.
good. Shoobies.
That was like one of my favorite shows. Like when I was.
Wiggity,
like,
wiggity, wiggity, wiggity.
I guess 10.
Yeah,
I don't know when
I forgot
the fuck
about
came
that.
out.
Yeah. Fingers together.
It was a good
Put
show.
them in.
Wiggity, wiggity,
Wiggity,
wiggity.
wiggity, wiggity, wiggity.
So that was like one of them. I watched a lot.
Doug.
Of just
Remember
random-
Doug?
Yeah.
The show
Funny.
Doug. Yep, Doug Funny. Hey Arnold with Helga Pataki. Yeah, that was a good one. I like
So
that one
here's
too.
another question we got because we kind of got all of our favorite TV shows when we were younger. How many hours do you think you've wasted on TV?
Countless.
Total.
Countless. Yeah, it can't even be
Total.
counted. Can't even
So
be
she's
counted.
like, Abby told.
I
asked
said
her
maybe
this
like 100
earlier.
hours.
She's like, I don't know, like 100 hours. And I broke it down. I said, we
No.
watched Game of Thrones, the series, 4 times all the way through.
What?
Listen.
4
listen.
times.
Holy
there is
shit.
8 to 10 episodes each season.
And they're all like an hour long.
They're all an hour long. Some of them longer. So I broke it down. It was over 100 hours in just Game of Thrones.
Well, how much more?
So each season is 8 hours, right?
Okay.
8 times 7, because there's 7 seasons.
56. Wow.
Yes.
Over 200.
112 every 2 times we watch.
224 hours.
224.
Whoa,
What's up, dog?
Shooby.
Wow.
I know more about fucking Daenerys Targaryen than I know about my own fucking family. It's sickening.
Wow.
That's what TV does to you
Mic
people.
drop.
So I've wasted a shit ton of time on TV, and that's not even including video games, which I quit. Thank God. Because that was a shit ton of time as well.
I know. That was actually what I was saying to Justin the other day. I was like, man, if we broke up tomorrow, it'd be some pretty big shoes for somebody to fill for me because Justin doesn't watch
You're trying to
football.
find a replacement.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying it was a compliment. Like, he doesn't watch football. He doesn't play video games. You know, like, yes, we have some TV shows we get interested in, but now we've become people that are really only interested, like, in historical stuff. So it'd be hard for me to connect with somebody that, like, would be like,
History's
I
a
need my
man.
man time. I need to go out and I need to do
History
hang
is
out
what
my
you're told
boys.
it is, right? So who said it really happened if it's not really written and I didn't see it?
Everything is real and nothing is real.
I don't
Well-
know. It's pretty interesting.
Right, next.
Yeah, there's a duality.
Well, how many hours do you think if you really like if you sat down and calculated it? I mean, I'm talking like, dude, I'm fucking.
A third of my life.
But think about that. So,
7
and
years.
I grew up
8
without
years.
a lot of the technology.
Mhm.
And during that time, I wasted less time on it. So now the kids nowadays are gonna be. It's gonna be like quadruple of how much time we wasted.
It's going to be at least half. I'd
It's
say
gonna
more.
be like glued on their. The South Park had an episode where they had this device and it connected your phone to your face, and you literally
It was
just
a
walk
box.
around with it.
No,
And I think that's where we're going with the Neuralink.
I do believe my little brother has spent most of his life on devices.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So I have memories of going outside, riding my bike with my friends, playing sports with
Dude,
my
I
friends.
barely see the kids in our neighborhood outside playing, and they are a lot of kids in our neighborhood, but it's crazy.
I think their memories are gonna be like, yo, you remember we were on Fortnite for like 15 hours straight?
Yeah. we got 3 battle royales in a row, bro.
Yeah, it's like they're not even real memories.
No.
It's a fake fictional world that they're fucking running around in, and that's where they're creating their memories. It's creepy.
So here's a real big
You-
mic drop. When's the last time you sat down, ate dinner with your fucking family, and asked them what the highlight of their week was?
Not that specific question. We never asked that question.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The family unit is being destroyed, and people are allowing it.
Yeah. Well, the entire
Do you
societal
even want to
unit.
get to know your parents
It
anymore? Do
was
you even want to get
once,
to know your kids
we're
anymore?
turning the TV off at the table.
No.
Now it's everybody keep your phones.
That's right.
fucking
I
away from
forgot
the
about that.
table.
I'll have to ask my sister if she remembers that. We were not allowed to have our phones at the table.
Well, you're all separated.
TV was supposed to be off. You're not supposed to have any sort of communication at the table. It's supposed to
And
be
now we
off.
eat
Well,
in
you know,
front of the TV.
you know who daddy is now? The government. You're
Yeah,
all
they
separated.
understand
You're all
that.
individualized, and now the government controls what you watch, when you're allowed to watch it. They control everything.
Yeah.
So you have no form of unity. You now have no way of rebelling or having any influence over the people that control you. So it's basically a giant fucking brainwashing scheme.
Yeah. All right. So another question: have you ever moved a heavy TV?
Yeah.
How heavy?
I don't know how heavy
How
it
big was it?
It was like this wide. It was a box.
It was a
One of those big
projector.
boxes.
It was a projector screen.
I think so.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So the bottom, these old TVs that they had projectors underneath them, and it would project the image on the screen. And these motherfuckers were like 400 pounds. And I had to move one once, and I almost fucking died. It was horrible. And this is.
I've never moved a TV
and
that
those
heavy.
fucking TVs.
Like
that
this.
TV had to be okay, so that's a tube TV. Type in projector TV.
Okay.
Projector TV.
Bro, the projector TV, we had one, and this bitch was fucking. It was like a 50.
There it is, projector
TV.
television.
We thought it was the coolest fucking thing ever, and these aren't even it.
This?
That thing right here. Boom.
Bro,
we had
yeah.
that one. That's the one we had. Yo, and this thing was a big giant piece of shit.
I do remember like going to
was
people's
probably
houses
like
and seeing those.
$3,000
We were
for this
too
piece
poor
of
to
shit.
have that.
Yeah, we were too. They put that shit on credit. Yeah, never paid that bitch.
No payment down for the first
Exactly.
year.
Exactly.
I'll get it.
Whole neighborhood's over. They're like, damn, look at that TV.
They're like,
I
we're
didn't
never
even
gonna
have
pay
to
for
pay for
it.
it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, we only pay $1 a month for this thing.
It was free.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
Jesus.
But those things sucked ass, and the picture on them was terrible. It was
Wow.
never even like HD, like my ass. It looked like fucking Xbox One.
Look at this. This
Like
is
the
the
original
future.
This is the future.
This is the
TVs
future right
versus
here.
projectors.
Boom. The TV
Ooh.
doesn't
Look at that
exist
thing.
anymore. It's just a light
It's just
source.
yeah.
It's a
gonna
light
be-
source.
Well, it'll just be a projector. The projector
Yeah.
that I have is pretty
Any other
fucking
questions?
good.
What's up?
Oh yeah. So
We can wrap up.
So you've moved to heavy TV. Have you ever picked up one of these?
No, I said no. Move on.
So well, I'm still gonna go into detail because
There's
those,
no detail needed.
No, those tube TVs, they were 21 inches big, which is not big, dude. It's like as big as this fucking little thing right here, and they weighed 100 pounds,
Damn.
and
That's-
they were huge. Like
that's-
you needed two people to pick up those most of the time because
Yeah.
they were so awkwardly shaped. We had them at the old gym. You did move them.
Listen,
Oh, that's right. I did.
We're
Move on.
talking about lifting things and how much
That's
things
right.
weigh.
That's
So,
right, baby. That's
Jim.
what I specialize in.
Exactly.
Move
He's-
on. Next
All right,
question.
So next question would be, what was your favorite channel? Like, what network did you like most? And what do you think network you watched the most? I think Comedy Central is mine.
Nickelodeon. Nick at Night.
I watched a lot of that at
SpongeBob.
and when I was younger.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yeah, that shit was fun.
Oh,
When I
yeah.
was younger, yeah.
That's-
Nowadays it's anime.
Oh, okay.
Still the same thing.
Well, yeah, still cartoons.
Different channel. He
Same
goes to
thing.
Cartoon Network down the street.
Yeah. Oh, here's a really good one.
Which was also a good network that I watched. Was Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, and Comedy Central a lot.
I'm not gonna type it in yet.
Yeah,
probably
we don't
just
know
see a
what
bunch
will.
of big tits.
Yeah, we
Oh,
don't know
yeah,
what
we
will
don't
come
need
up.
need that.
I think I watched Nick at Night a lot because I remember watching the Brady Bunch. Nickelodeon. There was a there was like
Which
this
one of these logos
really-
was yours?
Huh?
Which one of these
Right,
logos
which
do you
era
recognize?
was yours? The fucking that one I remember.
Yeah,
which
I
is
remember this
old.
one.
Damn.
He's like, I never seen that.
Remember.
it's
God,
creepy.
I do feel like I remember something
Yeah,
like
look at
this.
that. Nick at Night. Look at that on that old ass TV.
Yeah.
That was another thing. So like that TV, as you see, they used to make TVs look like furniture, and they
that's
used
right.
to take them like forever to build them, and it was weird. Now it's just a screen with plastic all over it.
Yeah.
And like even like this radio that we have right here, this thing looks like a piece of furniture. It actually looks cool. It's like well made. They put some time into it. It's not a fucking hunk of plastic that's gonna like be worthless in 5 seconds.
What about you, Justin?
I'd say Nickelodeon was one of them.
Okay.
Cartoon Network and Comedy Central I watched a lot.
Okay.
It's hard to
And
say because like
Spike TV. You guys remember Spike TV?
Oh, yeah, with
Spike
Bobby
TV.
Lee.
Yeah, that's where UFC was first like.
what else was
started
on
coming
Spike
TV.
TV? Because that sounds familiar to me.
It was like a man TV station. It was
I
like,
know, but what else came on there? Was it like Supernatural? Like what else came
I
on
don't know.
Spike TV? 'Cause
Randomly, they would play like random cool shit.
I
don't know,
feel
they had
like
movies on
Buffy
there.
the Vampire Slayer was
Yeah,
on Spike TV,
that
and
was
I
on
did
They
there.
had
watch.
all sorts of
Yeah,
stuff on
Buffy,
Spike.
Angel, and
The
I did. So I
Sci-Fi
watched.
Channel, that was
Yep,
a good one.
Spike TV. Watch
Watched a lot
that.
of stupid weird movies. That's pretty much it on
Ren and Stimpy.
on networks and MTV.
Yeah, MTV.
Which
Music
when I was
videos,
growing
BET.
up, this is something that you definitely didn't have. We had TRL, and it was it was the top 10
Yep.
music of the week, and the best videos would get played on there, and it was a big deal.
I remember seeing like
Carson
the first
Daly would be on there,
Yep.
fucking announcing, and
the
all this
first
weird shit.
music
There it is.
video for Fat Joe, What's Love, and
This
seeing
was
Ashanti.
This was my fucking
Yeah.
teenage years.
That
right
was
here.
my teenage years too.
We
Yeah.
the best.
So
Another one.
Another one.
it was weird. Like, it was a show, and they would just show fucking
DJ
music videos,
Khaled.
Yeah.
and that was it.
Yeah.
But before that, like before my time, it was actually MTV was just music videos, nothing else. There was no bullshit. There was no reality TV. There was no fucking real world. None of this bullshit. Just music. And then it formed into the Jersey Shore.
Yeah, the reality TV shows, Big Brother, all that stuff, Survivor, Fear Factor.
VH1 we used to watch a lot too.
Snooki. Yep, there
There's
she
a Snooki.
is. There's
You
the
see her?
Snook.
Pull up the South Park Snooki. That's who she really is.
All
Pull that shit out, Jamie.
right, next question.
You got cabbage in your.
All right, we got a couple more questions.
There she is, Snooki.
So when I was growing up, there was this weird channel. It was like 99. It had like the guide, the TV guide on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you'd go to this channel if you wanted to find what was on for the day. So at night, it would turn into basically porn. And it would turn into, most people would probably remember Girls Gone Wild.
Yup,
And
yeah.
It would be this like fucking on repeat commercial so you could buy it. But it was on all night, and it was like, Girls Gone Wild.
Girls
And
Gone
she had the little like bar over their titties. And every night this fucking thing was on.
Bar of their titties.
And,
Now they have Twitter. You could just put up straight up porn on there.
Yeah,
It's
they
insane.
call it twatter.
Twatter.
But anyway, that shit was on all the fucking time. And I actually just heard recently, the guy who made that, Girls Gone Wild, he's getting sued. None of the people fucking agreed to this shit. He would just go to the clubs, do all this shit. Fucking crazy. There probably will be a documentary soon. I'll watch it.
Girls Gone Wild documentary.
Anyway,
Can't wait.
Do you remember this? Do you guys remember Girls Gone Wild?
Yes, I do.
The weird channel.
Yes, I
It would
do.
only come out at night when all the creeps were
And then
out.
I was never allowed to watch that channel because my mom would be like, "What the fuck is this?"
Never allowed to watch it. Here's a TV. Put it in your room. Okay.
Right, exactly. All right,
Perfect.
next question.
What's the most expensive TV you ever bought?
Ooh, expensivest.
Probably at least $1,000.
At 400.
400.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about it.
Probably
That's-
close to
I'm
$1,000.
probably about 400 or 500. I never spent $1,000 on one.
I think like 800 was what probably the most I ever
Luckily,
spent.
I got
this,
like a 50-inch TV like
Yeah.
this for like $400.
and those used to be thousands of dollars.
I was gonna say like I got a
This was
55-inch
this was
TV,
like
and years
400 or
ago when I was in
500
college, because now we're talking that was a long time ago. That was a lot of money.
Yeah. Mine's a smart TV.
Yeah, but
So,
mine was a smart TV too. I
yeah,
think.
it's actually cheaper.
All right, next.
Yeah,
Next
now they're super
question.
cheap. This is,
Inflation.
I think, the last. That was the last question.
Oh,
That was it?
all right.
I think so.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well,
That's all I
that
have.
wraps it up, guys,
That's it,
for TV. So we'll be talking about a different piece of technology. We
small
kind of
portion
chatted
of
a
this
little bit
episode
about
was TV.
cameras, a little bit, but this mainly was about TV,
Yeah.
how it's impacted us, and I think these are great conversations to have when wrapped up into talking about technology, new or old, is how they do, manipulate us, how they do affect us, because sometimes it kind of gives us new perspective to really change the way that we go about our day that day. You know what I mean? There may be a few people that listen to this on Instagram Live.
Pull up that
Shush.
big
That,
visual.
that listen to this on Instagram Live that may now today, instead of sitting in front of the TV, go outside. So that's why I think it's important to talk about this stuff and how it does affect us.
Oh, yeah. I
Stucky
agree.
wants smush mush. I can't.
So one of my favorite show actually was South Park.
Yeah,
for the
I mean,
longest
it's
time.
fucking
I
hilarious.
watched every fucking episode.
I hated South
every
Park when I
fucking
was
Wednesday
younger.
it was on. I made sure I watched it.
I used to watch The Simpsons.
I fall asleep just up.
South Park was and still probably is.
Oh my
This
God.
Is why. Right here. This is why it's amazing. Look at this. That's a Snooki.
And
That's
kids
what I
were
was talking
watching this.
I was watching this. We were not allowed to watch this for a long time, and then we basically just like manipulated our parents to let us watch it.
Yeah.
Like everybody else watches it, fuck it, we're gonna watch it. And I watched the Chappelle Show when I was like fucking 13 years old.
The Chappelle Show is hilarious.
It's great. When you're 13, you probably shouldn't be watching this.
All right, guys. So that's it for today. You can
See,
find us on
people-
the social media platforms.
We'll pull 'em up.
Instagram.
Boom.
We have 2 accounts on there. absfitness_Brandon Florida. absfitness_Brandon Florida 2. You can find us on YouTube at Abs Fitness
I guess
Film House. Facebook Abs Fitness LLC. And I think that's it. And
That's
then you
it,
want to throw out
guys.
your socials?
Trainer_Torres, everything.
Trainer_Torres
Boom.
everything.
See you guys next week. We're gonna talk about more bullshit.
More bullshit,
Aliens,
more technology, more crazy shit.
Yeah.
Join if you want.
Shore.
More
Sponsored
smush
by
push.
Anna and Alpha Brain.
GTL, Gym Tan
We'll
Laundry.
expect our shipment next week, fuckers.
If you want to overcome the Matrix, Gym Tan Laundry.
Goodbye.